Cybercube's mission is to deliver the world's leading cyber risk analytics. They want to enable society to make better decisions about which digital risks to avoid, mitigate or insure. In a world with billions of IoT services, cyber risk reshapes risks and therefore also economy and society. Today, they will share their inspiring story. Next on stage, Cybercube.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lucas with Cybercube. For over 2 decades now, insurers have provided cover for privacy-related events. As the technology we depend on has evolved to allow for greater efficiency and connectivity, the associated exposures with that technology has grown to be more complex. And since that time, the challenges to both single risk underwriting and portfolio management relative to cyber has increased exponentially. We are all aware that cyber attacks, privacy incidents, and technology failures affect business around us every minute. But what were to happen if one singular event were to affect thousands or hundreds of thousands of businesses at one time? Insurers are asking important but difficult to answer questions in how to intelligently and efficiently identify cyber risk, and then what are the correlations between those risks that could be impactful to their growing portfolios. Individually, companies have unique risks relative to cyber. But how are these risks interlaced? How can we quantify it? And how can we leverage these insights to make better informed capital and underwriting risk management decisions? Take the step into the shoes of a cyber insurer. You have tens of thousands of policies, billions of dollars of limit outstanding, all covering events that affect data and technology. Unlike property, your insureds are connected by technology dependencies rather than their geographic locations. Internet service providers, DNS, payment processors, and of course cloud are just a few examples of providers that could lead to catastrophic insurance losses if toppled over. And then on an individual basis, how can you efficiently identify good risks to include in your portfolio and then integrate this identification process seamlessly into your underwriting workflow? The intersection of these two concerns, aggregated risk and singular risk for cyber, can be troublesome to merge using traditional framework. Let me show you how to merge these concepts, leveraging our wide array of scenario and event types and company-level data. At Cybercube, we are delivering the world's leading cyber risk analytics to the insurance industry through our solutions Portfolio Manager and Account Manager. I'm going to assume the role of the underwriting manager today. And as my concerns grow over the impacts of cyber accumulation events, I need a way to understand and quantify that exposure from my discussions with enterprise risk management. What are the worst outcomes for my portfolio? How will a reinsurance program shift the net loss distribution? And then ultimately, what is the fair price to pay for that? And then, of course, again, on an individual basis, how can I identify risks to include in my portfolio and continuously monitor those over time? Let's jump into the platform. So today, I've uploaded a portfolio comprised of 3,000 companies to represent the book that I already insure. Like I've mentioned, I'm consumed with aggregation risk, so I run Cybercube's catastrophe model in Portfolio Manager. I seek to identify single points of failure, develop a detailed footprint, and then estimate aggregate impact. With 36 scenarios and several event families to choose from, I have several options to keep pace with the ever-changing cyber landscape and address driving forces of loss. I run my analysis to determine my average annual loss and want to understand what the diversification of my portfolio is by company size, industry, and region. I can then separate the losses by these characteristics to understand the drivers to my total loss figure and influence my diversification strategy going forward. I have concerns with how much retail business I insure, so I separate the losses by industry. In this case, retail contributed over $270 million worth of modeled loss. And then in simulations, I can understand what are the driving events behind these losses. Here, I see that ransomware to a file sharing provider could have the largest impact on my book of business, followed by data theft on an e-commerce platform. These insights allow me to have better conversations and confidence when discussing with enterprise risk management and allow me to consider adjusting my policy terms and conditions going forward. If we think back to technology dependencies, I also want to know what providers may lead to the largest single point of failure in my portfolio. In this example, I see that an outage at Amazon Web Services could lead to over $27 billion worth of modeled loss and affected over half of the companies in my insurance portfolio. However, this solution allows me to quantify the blast radius from this particular event and understand that I may not need to deploy capital at 100% of my exposed limits. Again, this empowers me to have deeper conversations with my risk management providers and capital providers as well, and allow me to consider underwriting conditions and adjusting my policy terms going forward. I am then able to export this data to Excel in order to juxtapose it to my company's own viewpoint of risk, and I'd consider adjusting the numbers even further. If I switch to individual risk, I want to know what outliers are in my portfolio from both a security and an exposure standpoint. Account Manager leverages both public and behind-the-firewall data on an individual company basis, showing us cyber vulnerabilities, scoring, and signals. When reviewing the entirety of risks on my book, I flag accounts that are well outsized in regards to their exposure and underperforming in regards to their security posture. I can then message these concerns to the various underwriters and implement escalation or further review when or if renewing these risks. Further, I'm able to identify those industries that may be underperforming for me and consider adjusting my strategy for underwriting going forward. But on a positive note, I can identify those industries that are overperforming to influence positive growth. My underwriters are able to leverage these insights to gain confidence in their underwriting and make their process more efficient. Further, I'm able to implement these scores and signals into my fast flow underwriting system to quickly qualify or disqualify risks and adjust pricing based on their scoring metrics. The solutions we provide are critical to the stability of the marketplace. We deliver cyber intelligence through our talent pool of data scientists, economists, and cybersecurity experts in order to empower insurance providers to drive profitable growth in an efficient manner. The importance of this coverage to the greater economy is only in its infant stages, and the insights we provide are critical to the stability of the marketplace. We look forward to talking to you on how to streamline and enhance your cyber underwriting and enterprise risk management practices. Thank you so much.